Hi, my name is Dylan Brockway, and welcome to our second episode of Frameworks. Today we sit down with Rebecca Biersack, a potter, and Samuel Kim, a filmmaker. Tonight we're sitting down with Rebecca Biersack, a potter. Now you're a senior at Lake Braddock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you got started as a potter, Lake
Yeah,
Braddock?
I started last year, and that's when I really started using the wheel. And then my teacher persuaded me to start really pursuing it.
Were you in a class, or was it just by yourself?
Ceramics 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And in ceramics, from the very start, what do you learn first? Because I'm sure you don't just start off making objects. You have to start off with something, right?
Well, the class, she has projects and stuff. The wheel's never mandatory because it's not you don't have to do it.
The wheel is the spinning.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I just was kind of drawn to it at first. I was like, maybe I could try it out. It just seemed like something that I wanted to just get good at.
I've always heard that it's a calming activity, but I'm sure it'd be very frustrating at first.
It's so frustrating. Oh my gosh! When I first got on, I literally wanted to punch a wall because I just couldn't get it. But after a while, you keep working at it, and then you get to the point where it's so easy that it's therapeutic.
It's relaxing.
Yeah.
Do you have something that you make in specific, or do you kind of make all sorts of things?
I kind of started making things for other people and them telling me what they wanted so that I kind of could get onto the wheel and tell myself what I was going to make. Whereas some people, they get on the wheel and they'll be like, I'll just make whatever happens. It's better to have a plan of what you're going to make once you get better at it, you know? Right now I'm trying to center it so that it won't be wobbly. And so you have to bring it up and down. So when you bring it up, I usually use my sponge. So bring up the walls. And then you push it back down so that you can kind of center it more. So push it like this. Get rid of the mushroom. And then to see if it's centered, I always turn it on all the way to see if there's a little wobble. And there's not really a wobble right now. It's just the top. I don't know. I just like to make the pieces. Right now I'm still learning a lot. So I like to just create the pieces and then kind of just leave them. I make a bunch and then I just leave them and just I don't know, paint them whenever I can find time.
With clothes and sewing, I'm not an expert on either, but I know that there are designs you can follow.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same with pottery, or do you just kind of do it yourself?
Well, you can make your own shapes. I have one shape that's kind of my signature shape that I make. It's just it's really easy. It's just because it's really fun to bump it out. It's the fun part. But I look a lot at Instagram. I'll look at hashtags of ceramics and I'll find potters and look at their work. It's like any type of art when you're first starting. You kind of just have to look around at everyone else just so that you can make your own person. You know what I mean? Your own style.
So you're getting inspired by something that you see, right? And then when you start up, walk us through the whole process of start to finish.
When you first start, you get your clay and you wedge it.
Is it just a big chunk of clay?
Yeah, it's a 25-pound bag of clay, and so you take your piece off, and normally you're supposed to start a small piece, but now I'm to the point where I get half the bag. Yeah, and then so you wedge it, and you just kind of smush it into the whatever you're using, table or whatever, and you slam it down and get all the air out. Mm-hmm. That's what wedging is. You're getting the air bubbles out.
Okay. So you're going to go to school and you're going to major in what?
And it's under the major crafts, and they have pottery and stuff. So I guess, if I get into VCU, I'm still radcrossing my fingers that I'll get in.
What schools have you applied to besides VCU?
I applied to JMU, GMU, Radford, CNU, VCU, and that's it.
Have you heard back from any of them yet?
I didn't get into CNU, but I got into Radford so far.
You don't want to get into CNU.
Really?
That's good though. Congratulations on getting into Radford. I'm sure you'll get into VCU, and that's your dream school.
Mm-hmm.
And Richmond is a really artsy area.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about it, but I know that a lot of people say it's a pretty creative area.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like cities. That wasn't my thing. But now that my teachers kind of pushed me into getting more into arts and following my dreams, like, okay, maybe that's like where I need to be to kind of pull out my artistic side, because you're surrounded by people who are just like inspired by art and just want to be around art, so it kind of just like pushes you to like find your art side, you know?
And pottery, it gives you an outlet, I'm sure, but it relaxes you at the same time.
Yeah, it totally does. Like even my teacher says it, because like I'm really high energy. You can probably tell that. Like
Yeah, I
I'm
can
like
tell.
always like bouncing, like doing different things all at once.
You did a backflip before we started.
Yeah, multitasker.
That's
I
right.
like to do, yeah, but it really helps. Like if I'm having a bad day, if I'm like stressed out, I just get on the wheel. Like I leave class, I just get on the wheel. Make the hole, find the center. And you can bring the walls up. I had never even thought about doing this as like a career, but now it's like opened up a lot of doors. Like when she said to apply to VCU, I was like, okay, like I'll try it out. And now it's just like, maybe I can make this a new career. So now every day I try and make it like bigger, do more, like try more things, look up things, get ideas, just like trying new things every day.
So you want to own your own studio then?
Yeah.
So if you had your own studio all to yourself, one you owned, what would be the objective? Would it be to sell your art, or would it be to have other people come and use the studio as space?
I'd probably just want to help kids around my age kind of see who they are as a potter and kind of like persuade people to follow their dreams. Like, I don't know, when I go to the studio, it's usually like older people, they just do it as a hobby, but I want this to be more of like a bigger thing. Like
A creative outlet.
you can make money doing what you like. Whereas like, I don't know, like my family, everyone's always telling me like, don't be a potter, you're gonna be broke, do it as a hobby. But I want people to see that you can make a living out of making things and doing what you like, being an artist, you know what I mean?
And you may not make $1 billion, but you'll be doing something you
Yeah,
love.
and you'll be happy, you know? It makes me so happy. Like when I give stuff to people and they see it and they're just like, I put like the biggest smile on their face. It's like the best feeling ever.
That should be what's most important then, right?
Yeah.
That's good though. I think not enough people chase that. So you finish a piece of art. Do you take a photo of it and you put it on the internet so people can still enjoy your art without having it?
Yeah.
You like to present it to people.
Yeah, because it's like, it's that rewarding feeling where people see it and they're like, oh my gosh, I love it. Like, for example, I just gave something to one of my, to my cousin's girlfriend, Jess, and she posted a picture of it. It was literally like an hour ago. She posted a picture of her using it, and then she said, hey, if anyone wants anything, like talk to Rebecca, and she put like my tag or whatever, and it just kind of helps me get my name out.
Yeah.
And especially like hashtags, I don't know. I mean, that's social media, that's what it's there for, but
Social media can really help out a lot of local artists though.
yeah, and it really helps because then I see like other potters that will like my stuff, and then I look at their stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to make something like that.
So you
So
can
like,
feed off each other creatively then.
yeah, definitely.
That's great. So you've become quite the potter at Lake Braddock, your high school that you go to, and you've actually developed quite of a reputation, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're not going to be bragging, you can tell us.
Well, I don't know. Since I post things on Instagram and since people are, like, I'm always in ceramics, I always have ceramics all over me, it's all over my boots, like, people know, and then plus I'm like, I probably shouldn't say this, but I just, like, I'm always there during class, lunch, whatever, I go there all the time, and so people have, like, been starting to notice, plus I bring home, like, boxes of stuff. And so, I don't know, people
Your
just
sister
like,
actually
start
told me that
asking.
people come into the room and take pictures of what you're doing. Is that true?
Yeah, you know, people are always asking me to make stuff, so it's been passed around. People are like, oh, where'd you get that? That's cool, can I have it?
And
Ask
with the
Rebecca.
reputation that you have around your high school as being such a great potter, and people come in and take pictures of you doing it, you kind of feel like a celebrity, I'm sure, right? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't that feel, I'm sure that makes you feel good, right?
It's a good feeling, yeah. When I get to share my art with people and people like complimenting me, it definitely like makes me want to work harder and make something bigger or better. I don't know. It really helps, especially like other teachers will come in and be like, wow, she throws really big. And then my teacher will be like, I can't even throw that big. Like stuff like that. I don't know. It like makes me feel good.
I'm going to stop you right there. What's throwing? I'm sorry.
Oh.
I should have done more preparation.
Well, throwing on the wheel is just like making something on the wheel, just like making pottery. But it's just like a term that they use.
So you don't like painting your art. That's something you despise. Is there something that you love about the whole process of pottery? Is there your favorite part? Because now we know your least favorite part.
Yeah, probably just throwing on the wheel. That's my favorite part. But literally, after you cut it off and the rest of the part, I'm just like, ugh, this takes forever. Like when you have to trim it, fire it, paint it, fire it again. It's just, it takes forever.
Well, I don't know what any of that means, so why don't you explain that to us? How do you fire it?
It's like this huge oven, and it gets to like
Oh, so you throw it in the oven and
3,000
it
degrees.
takes its shape and it gets hard.
Yeah, it gets really hard and it shrinks a little, and then gets all hard and whatever, that kind of thing. And then you have to paint it, and then you fire it again.
How long is it in the oven for?
Oh God, probably like 15 hours.
So you overnight always?
Yeah, Miss Stokes doesn't like to do it during school because, I mean, it could blow up, because my stuff blows up all the time. The kiln is where you bake the stuff, so it has to be like fired twice. So this is before it's fired the first time, and it's like really fragile, so you have to make sure that you're really careful with it. So you just load it in, and then once I take it out, I paint it again, and then I fire it again. I can find it. So you do like 2 layers of a base coat, and then the next layer will like change the color. So right now I'm only doing one color. So the first layer after you do one way, and then the second layer you do it this way to like get like traction. I don't really know. It's like all chemicals and stuff.
You said that sometimes your stuff explodes, right?
Yeah.
Now, is that your fault, or is it just something that happens in the oven?
Yeah, it's my fault.
So what would I have to do to ensure that my artwork explodes in the oven?
You want it to explode?
How would it explode?
If it's too thick. Like, some people will make things, I don't know what. It's so irritating, because me and Miss Stokes are the ones that, like, I mean, there's other people too that help out, but it's normally like me and her cleaning, putting stuff away. People make just like a ball of clay, and they'll put it in the kiln.
What are they trying to create?
It's a bomb. That's a bomb. Like, it'll blow up.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I don't know what they...
Is that supposed to be something like someone throws a ball together and then they throw it in and they'll go, oh, my art exploded, I can't turn it in today?
I don't even know. I don't know what they think's gonna happen. It's gonna explode.
Because honestly, that's something I would do. I would have done that.
I don't know. That's a bomb.
I'm sorry, Miss
That's a bomb.
Stokes. This was my artwork and it blew up. Would you teach me how to throw clay? Is that the term?
Yeah.
Am I getting it right?
Throw on the wheel.
Then we could fire it and then we could wedge it. Am I getting it, you think?
Yeah.
Would you teach me one day?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
I
what
give
I'm talking about.
lessons.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I'll be the next one to take a lesson then.
Okay.
Do you have any advice before we go for potters all over the very local area?
Yeah. Just if it's your thing, if art is your thing, any of the fields in art, then totally just go with it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. Like if your parents are saying don't do it, like that, just make it your strive to actually pursue art. Like never have anyone say to you no, just do it. That's what I always say. I'm just
That's
like,
great.
whatever, make anything into what you like.
Anything else?
Don't put clay down the drains. It makes me really mad. I always clean it out.
I can promise you I will never throw clay down a drain.
Okay, good.
Doesn't seem...
Better pinky promise on that later.
Because that's a bomb.
Yeah.
That is a bomb.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is there any website that you have you'd like to give to the show?
Oh yeah.
Any way that you show your art off?
You can look at my Instagram, and it's R and then beer sack, but beer BEER and then SACK, and just look me up.
And that's where all your art is.
And anyone, if you want anything, just tell me. Like I say, I have my book, and you can just tell me what you want.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
We are here with Samuel Kim, an aspiring filmmaker. Tell us, what do you do in filmmaking? Are you a director, an editor, or kind of everything?
I haven't really narrowed it down yet, but like how I started out was I was kind of like the one-man crew. So I basically edited, I did, the filming, I also directed myself. But so I have experience with all those sides, so I haven't really narrowed it down. I'm kind of like an editor, filmer.
When did you decide you wanted to start making film?
Um, I decided to start making film when my brother came back from college. He helped his friend. Uh, he was an actor for his friend's film, and he showed it to us, and it looked really like so much fun. And I was like, oh, this seems simple.
You're a freshman?
Yeah, I am sophomore, first semester.
At what college?
Emerson College.
Oh, okay, in Boston.
Yep.
All right, I was just there. Okay, so you're 12 or 13, probably middle school, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when you first realized you probably wanted to work in film in some capacity.
Yeah, like that age was like kind of a journey to find what to do in college. Like everyone else was like already talking about like which like colleges, what application they have to send, and I was just in my room playing games. I was like, oh geez, I better get onto this. So yeah, like I kind of wanted to be a musician or like an artist, like drawing like comics.
What instruments did you play?
I played a whole lot of instruments. I first played violin, wasn't good at that. Piano, wasn't good at that. And then trumpet, wasn't good at that. So
Trumpet's rough though with the...
yeah, like my brother during a concert said, like, you look like a frog. So the next day I just...
It's a compliment, right?
Kind of,
Frogs are cute.
Yeah.
You did the theater classes through high school?
Mm-hmm.
And what high school did you go to?
I went to Westfield High School.
Oh, okay. And then you got further involved in filmmaking, not in acting, but you got involved in filmmaking, and you started going to your academy classes. Right?
Yeah, at Fairfax Academy High School.
Explain what the academy is.
So it's a program where, how I kind of explained to my friends is like, oh, we don't have this program in my school, so we'll send you to another school that has it.
Yeah, and you get to skip a few periods of
Oh
your
yeah,
school
I
day,
felt
right?
I felt like higher than like all of my classmates. I was like, yeah, I get to skip one class.
So you got to miss a whole period, and you got to go to Fairfax High School. And what did you do there? What type of classes did you take?
I took TV production. I was taught by Dave Ruby. He would teach us the fundamentals of the work area during like TV productions or filmmaking. He would teach us. He would also hire us. He has his own company in the academy.
I've heard amazing things about him.
Oh yeah, he's probably like the best teacher I've ever had by far.
Wow. Was
Yeah.
TV production something you wanted to do, or was that kind of is that the intro class, or?
Like at first I kind of wanted to do it as a hobby. This was like during like the whole era of like YouTube. People have started up like Freddie W, and a lot of people started like filming vlogs. So at first I thought maybe I could just have some fun a little bit with it. And then once I got hired for the company and started earning money, I was like, this is awesome.
So you were in the class and you were in the company at the same time.
Yes.
What were you doing with the company?
For the company, they would like schools and clients would hire us to go out and film some of the events.
Oh,
like,
other high schools.
Yeah, for other high
okay.
schools.
Did Dave Ruby hire you himself, or did someone else come in and?
Dave Ruby specifically handpicks each person
wow.
to go out, and he would like plan out like soldiers or something.
And then you of course you go to Emerson. You get accepted to Emerson College, an amazing school in Boston.
Oh, it's amazing.
Right in the heart of Boston too. I found. I stayed in a dorm once there. I actually got arrested in Boston for filming without a permit.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I was arrested. I actually got cited for it. But do you film throughout Boston at all, or?
I've been trying to do it lately. My first year, I was in a production class, so we would have assignments. You would have to practice doing this type of film. But right now, I've been kind of bombarded with like work.
And you said you couldn't quite decide what you wanted to do yet. Are you leaning towards any specific aspect of it so far?
I've been trying to veer more towards cinematography, on like how I would choose the style of the film, or what type of shots I would set up. That's one of the other things that kind of veered me towards filmmaking was when I first saw that film my brother made. I saw it as a way, you're just showing what the viewers of what you see, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty interesting how you can tell audience how to for stories.
Mm-hmm. What type of projects do you work on at Emerson through school?
You can work in a lot of projects. A lot of people would get posters up saying they need crew, and they'll show a list of positions they need, and you go get interviewed for that position. So there's a lot of things you can work on, like Facebook. Emerson has a lot of groups where they would get other people outside the college, like clients,
Mm-hmm.
to hire students to work on projects.
You have I checked out your Vimeo page, Samuel Kim, right?
Yeah.
And they were all great. I was amazed by all of them.
Thank you.
Was most of the work behind the camera, was it mostly just you?
It was.
Were you working with quite a few people, or?
Some of them I've worked with others, like again Brian Rose, Leo Rodriguez, and So Choi. I would collaborate with them sometimes, but most of them are just me just playing around.
My favorite was it was titled City, I think, right?
Right, yeah.
Or was it City?
Yeah, it was City.
And it was mostly just different shots of was that your brother?
Yeah, it was my brother.
Walking through Richmond.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great, and I love how it worked with the music, really perfectly. You ever think of what you could have done differently?
Oh, always. I sometimes look back on my films as a reminder of the city. If you notice some of my shots, because it was a very run and gun. I ran in, got the shot, and ran back in.
Yeah.
A lot of the footage was shaky, and every time I look at that film, it would be a reminder of me telling myself to bring a tripod or something.
Yeah. So when you watch your old films, you kind of are able to educate yourself for the next one.
Yes, yeah.
So you go out and you're ready to make a piece like The City. Is that what it was called?
Mm-hmm.
The City. And is that type of film? Is it kind of on the spot, or did you plan it out and you go to those certain spots and film exactly what you wanted to film, or was it kind of spontaneous and intuitive?
It's a little of both. Usually, sometimes when I'm inspired, it would randomly come to me, or I would just have to wait for it, just get the shots and
Well,
just.
a lot of the shots are kind of, you have to get in there right away, because with a city, it's not like a set you're working with. You're not in your own house where you can film over and over again.
Yeah.
There's a shot with a train, and so you can't just get those shots anytime.
Right. Yeah.
So is there any pressure, like you got to get the shot right now, or is it kind of the as what happens happens?
Yeah, it does put a lot of pressure on you. Like the train shot, I really did want to get the train shot. So filmmaking kind of keeps you on your feet.
Yeah.
You have to be steady. Hold the camera still, and have the right moment when to start recording, when to stop.
And when your set is a city like Richmond, you don't have a lot of control over the things going on around you.
Yeah, yeah.
So you really have to work to adapt, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And walk us through the process of your filming a short.
So normally how I would start trying to plan or write the story out, have everything down on papers. So if I'm working with someone else, I would, have to show him because I can't, like, it would be kind of hard for an actor to do his work if he's not, like, if he doesn't know what he's, acting about.
Yeah.
So I would write down the stories. I would get the shot list, just little panels of what kind of shots I would want to get, just to have it there so I won't forget it. I would usually have the paper crumpled in my pocket, and sometimes bring it out during filming just to remind myself.
Mm-hmm.
And once I get that down, I try to decide what kind of equipment I need.
As a child, was there a movie that impacted you in a great way when it came to film?
The Goonies probably impacted me the most. My family would rent out every weekend at Blockbuster's movies, and we would watch them in our living room.
Blockbuster is an ancient building where you used to go and you used
Very
to pick from a
ancient.
very limited selection of movies.
Yes. And what during that we saw Goonies, and just like the story, and it was very fun and adventurous. It just inspired me. Like after I watched that, I probably have gone lost in our neighborhood for a bit, but it really kind of opened my view of you can do like storytelling through film, which is pretty good because I was pretty bad at writing.
What would you say would be some of the main differences in the film scene between Boston and Northern Virginia, now that you've experienced both? I'm sure there are a ton.
Yeah, there is a ton. It's kind of weird because in high school in Westfield, it was very like sports oriented. Like
Yeah.
there was I could kind of see like a majority of like sports players, and just it was kind of 50-50. But then when I go to Boston, like it's kind of a like a side joke of like, oh, like during like the Winter Olympics, like I would have friends be like, oh, sports, yeah, go team.
Yeah.
And then there'd be like that one person who knows sport, like who
Yeah.
loves sports teams.
They're taking so much money out of the arts programs all over Northern Virginia.
Definitely. My TV production teacher, Dave Ruby, was cut due to budgets.
It's a shame because, like you said, and I've heard from a lot of other people that he was one of the most loved teachers they ever had. And they're pumping all this money into the sports departments, and they're taking all this money out of the arts. And it seems like they could be evening it off or leveling it off, stop the budget cuts in the arts departments and just stop putting more money into the sports departments. But that doesn't seem to be how it's going.
Yeah, definitely.
But in Boston, you say there's a lot more of an emphasis on art itself.
Yeah. When I first came to Boston, I was just so like mesmerized by the amount of activity that was going on.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us and talking about your work today. You can check him out on Vimeo, Samuel Kim, and on Flickr as well, right?
Right. Yeah.
My name is Dylan Brockway. Thank you for watching Frameworks. We'll see you next time.